Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Combo Convo. On today's episode, we'll be reviewing the first issue of Max Landis, American Alien. I'm flying! I'm flying! So, American Alien, Vic. This is Max Landis. If you don't know who Max Landis is, definitely I would say check out his YouTube page. You can see some funny stuff that he's done about wrestling, about the death and return of Superman. You can tell he even says it in his videos that he's a big Superman fan. So when we learned that he would be writing a 7-issue run on DC of Superman's, well, the way he describes it is 7 separate short stories that were kind of meaningful parts of Clark Kent's life. So when we heard that, we were like, oh, let's check it out. So today we're reviewing the first issue. And we got to say a shout out, definitely first and foremost, to the illustrator, Nick Dragata, the colorist, Alex Guimarães, and the cover artist, Ryan Sook, because it looks really good. Right off the bat, when you first look at the comic, it's like, wow, this is some really good illustrations. And of course, shout out to Max Landis, because as we're about to review right now, it's a very good episode. Issue, but it definitely felt like an episode of a TV show. So now this first issue is called Dove, and apparently every single issue of his, the name of the issue is another bird, which is a good comparison to Superman, who's always in the sky and flying. You know, they say, is that a bird? Is it a plane? So what did you think? What did you think of the tone, the feel of the comic? This definitely feels like an introduction, at least to me, it felt like an introduction to who Clark was at age, I'm guessing 8, 9, maybe?
It's really hard to gauge how old, but let's just say maybe about 10.
10. But this really describes him as a child and his parents. Like, definitely this is a introduction of Martha and Jonathan Kent. What'd you think? What'd you think of...
I thought it was hot. I like the fact that they're giving him a true origin story. Now, I know some people are like, well, we already know the origin of Superman and stuff, but not really like in this sense, Mm-hmm. Like, normally it's like Superman, he was raised here, he has these powers, yada yada. But this gives like a good foundation. It's kind of like those it's like it's a base. If any house, what you need first is a good foundation.
Yeah,
they're showing the foundation of what's gonna make him Superman. Mm-hmm. Where his ideology came from. Saying his morals, his values, and everything else. They're gonna really cement that with us right now. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like the fact he's taking time out to go ahead and show a true origin story of the most iconic superhero of all time. I like when I'm reading this. I like seeing all those little references. Like, there's a lot of references in there. Like all these like little like these hints and stuff. Like, these subtle. Like, I know you caught a few, but I didn't. And I know I caught a few that you didn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was real interesting, and it definitely made me excited to want to read the
more.
rest.
Yeah, and especially this issue was definitely, they started with flight, and when you think of Superman, and obviously every issue is about a bird that flies. Mm-hmm. So it was good to kind of start off the Superman story with not really the strength, like the first page strength or lasers or breath or running fast. It was like he's learning how to fly, but in a very kind of drastic way where he's like, I think I'm gonna float away, I don't know what's going on. You can definitely, because like out of all of them, I feel like that's the one that shows the Kent's strength as parents, because are they freaking out? Yes, a little bit, but their whole parenting structure is to deal with Clark being an alien, but doing it in a way where he doesn't feel like he's an alien. Like, there was a lot of moments in the book where it could have easily been all about, well, you're an alien, but they treat it more of just like that's just who he is. Like, the perfect example was when Clark was watching the movie E.T. He was watching E.T. with Lon and everybody, and he gets scared, which is another thing I like, that it was like you can also see Clark having relationships with people, like he has friends, he has the night out where he goes and has fun, you know, and sees a movie, but the movie gets to him because he's dealing with the fact that he feels different, and he sees E.T. getting, like, you know, put in this confinement because of the scientists finding him. And he asked Lana, he said, hey, you think they would ever really do that in real life? And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, nothing, it's a cool movie. But there's that pivotal moment where he imagines himself as E.T. and he breaks a mirror. He actually breaks the wall in that bathroom. And to me, that was the pivotal moment that not only his father talking to him is the pivotal moment, because it showed, like, one, his father was trying to teach him right from wrong on the basic level. He's like, you just don't do that. Just because you have the power to break stuff, you shouldn't just break stuff. Don't be a what do you say? Don't be a
jerk.
Don't be a jerk about it. And again, it could have easily been this whole other thing where it's just like, well, I don't know, you're an alien. Sometimes I'm afraid of what your powers can do. Or it had nothing to do with that. It was just like the core of what it means to be a good person. And out of that was like, you know, and I hate to kind of harp on Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. You can look at our other episode about that, but I feel like that's at the core. That's what Superman is about. Is like he was raised obviously by good people. That it's just not him being a god that knows how to do right from wrong. It's like, no, he's been taught from young what's right and what's wrong. And I don't know, you like that scene too of his father telling him, like,
yeah,
don't
I mean,
be a jerk.
it's such a drastic difference from Man of Steel. It's like where there's like the father didn't know what the role to do. He didn't know what to do with his son. Like, that's the thing about it, is when you have a parent who doesn't know what direction to give you, especially when you're coming from two different direction, you'll come up with like a lot of confusion. With him, there was no confusion. He told he found out what he did. He told him what you did was wrong. This is why I'm upset with you. You need to think about your actions. He thought about it, and then he translated it like the way Superman would. Like, he really analyzed it and he really thought about it, and this shows like how sincere the character is, because he's like, okay, well, I broke the mirror. Somebody had to make the mirror. Somebody had to install the mirror. Okay, you know, somebody had to pay for the mirror, and I just went ahead and affected all their lives by this one action of me just being a jerk.
Yeah,
and this right here is the foundation of what the character is gonna be when it comes to property value. Not like it goes back to Man of Steel. Like, they break his his house in Smallville. She's like, oh, what'd she say?
It's just a house.
It's just a house. It's just property. You say that,
we'll
it's just
it.
buildings. Yeah. You know, it's whatever. I like this because now it's going to really show a good foundation of what is going to make him a better superhero than I feel any other superhero out there. Batman didn't have guidance. You know. His guidance was really Alfred
and Alfred.
Alfred, you know, and there's only so far he could go ahead and take the character, especially not really being his father as well.
Right.
Especially when he has a longing for that. Superman's different. Like, he grew up with his parents, you know. In the comic books, Superman's father doesn't die like early. Not like they do in the movies. Like, they love
killing his father for some reason.
Movies because, you know, like we've seen that with the Uncle Ben. We've seen that with the Bruce Waynes and stuff. But for some reason in the movies, they always try to make this character like everybody else.
They love killing.
Once again,
father.
This character, I love him so much. It's because he's different than everybody else. He doesn't need to have like some really messed up childhood and real like tormented upbringing. You know, because if you did that, then what kind of superhero are you going to create?
Yeah.
You're going to create a monster.
Well, yeah.
You're going to create a monster. And that goes back to that. So I love the foundation they give him. And like I said, I like all those little references he did. For instance, I don't know if anybody caught this and stuff. I felt like when the pockworm, the bucket in front of him scene, I thought that was, I don't know if that was a reference to Captain America. I thought it was. Because he has like a blue shirt on. The bucket is red, white stripes. And it's in front of him, and it looks kind of like the Captain America's shield, the old one, where he was kind of like, you know, like almost like a cone, like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought of it as like that. I don't know, maybe it was just coincidence. I don't know.
It could be.
But yeah, I just, you know, I really like this issue, and it was refreshing.
It was definitely.
It was refreshing to see like parents.
Yes,
this is what I know Superman to be. This is what I like about him. You know. I like my superheroes where they're not really, like, the lines with them are not really blurred. Like, they really know what's up.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying with the father, there was a scene when they were driving in the car, and he's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm, you know, an alien. I feel like I'm different. I'm trying so hard to be normal. And Jonathan tells him straight up, he's like, who needs normal? Just be yourself. Don't try to be different just to fit in, quote unquote fit in. It's like sometimes not being normal is good.
And that's the other thing too. In the Man of Steel film, they were really suppressing his powers
A lot.
Over here, he was like, "Don't use your powers." And in this, he's actually encouraging them to use it. But listen, if you're gonna fly, you're gonna learn how to fly. If you're gonna learn how to do all this stuff, I'm really just gonna give you proper guidance, because you're not gonna learn this in school.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one knows you. Like only us two know you could do this. Well, semi.
But it goes back to like the reason why this is so different from Man of Steel is because it's like you said, they kept him so. They made Smallville feel like Smallville, and then you had like, oh, we have to protect him from everybody else. Where this, it felt like a community. Like the doctor kind of knew something was wrong with him, but you can already tell that the doctor's not going to tell anybody, because he's like, he even tells Jonathan, he's like, look, I mean, we should maybe go to the scientist for this. And they're like, never. We're never going to go to scientist. He's my son. We're not going to do that. The old man that's probably their neighbor, they don't really go into, maybe it's his well, I don't think it's his grandfather. Maybe a neighbor. The old man, same thing. He's like, first you say the laser eyes, then you say this, the strength. Now you're telling me he's flying? What the hell's going on? But again, it's like that sense of community where, okay, we understand that this kid is a little different, but you know, they always have that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And this feels like at least a place that you can see like, oh, okay, yeah, there's bad things, but there are more good people in that community than there are bad people. Yeah. So you're a little safer to kind of let people know little by little, like, hey, don't tell anybody, but you know, Clark has been doing X, Y, and Z, and it's not like they're telling everybody, but you just feel like there's a community there.
Yeah, it's like the core people in their lives is gonna support this as well.
And that goes back to what you were saying, and why it's so different is it's not only because of the parents, but it's because you feel like, oh, okay, they're encouraging him because they're not like 100% afraid of like, oh my God, you know, scientists, or that we can't trust these people, don't trust anybody, which Man of Steel try to hit over the head with. But to me, that's what I got from, again, their parenting skills was on point. Like, you know, every time there would be a situation for them to easily go into, oh, woe is me, alien. It was like, no, the parents, this is their child. They're just gonna parent the child the best that they can with the abilities that he has. Like that's just good parenting. And you know, again, it goes back to Max Landis being, you know, knowing like what will make a good story without having to go dark, without having to make him a Batman type of character. The other thing I felt was you know, again, the panels, it goes back to like every shot, you know, the flying, like I like the part where the shirt ripped when the father was trying to grab him, and he had like a cape. But yeah, you just got that feel from this first issue that it's like a grounded parenting story, and it's a lighthearted in some terms, lighthearted, because at the end when Clark is ranting about how now he's learning how to fly, he's like, oh, we can fly on vacations, we can go here, we can go, and it's like a full 5 panels of him just ranting, talking about what he's gonna do, and the parents are just looking at each other like, here's Clark talking about what he's gonna do, and it's like, yes, like they're trying to be as normal as they possibly can, and they're not. There's nothing there that's making it feel too over the head of like, oh, woe is me, I'm an alien, oh, woe is me. It's just like, all right, we get it, he's an alien, but that's not his story. His story is not about overcoming being an alien. It's just learning how to harness his power and do good with it. So yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. Anything else you can think of as far as the first issue?
No, I mean, I just, you know, it's just got me, like I said.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing, and it also has me craving for more.
Yeah,
that's the thing I like. I like it where now it gives me something to like really look forward to. Like, whenever that month comes around, they're gonna release an issue. It has me really looking forward to that. Like when I first started collecting comic books, you know, right. it brings me back to that. It's Wednesday. You know, it's comic book day, but now this Wednesday happens to be particularly nice because it's my favorite comic book. Yep. I like that.
Yep. So definitely, you know, first issue, I rated an A. I mean, it's definitely A plus almost of a good introductory issue on a 7-part series. What would you rate the first issue?
Scale 1 to 10, I give it a 10.
There you go. So 10 A plus. Can't wait to see the next one. We'll be going issue by issue, just because of, like we stated before, this is more of short stories separate from each other. So the next issue will probably be a couple of years later. It'll be a totally different situation, but again, it's part of the it's an important story in Clark's life. So I can't wait. I can't wait till the next issue. You should definitely check it out. Go to your local comic book store, pick up Max Landis American Alien issue 1. At the time of this release, they've already had 1 through 6. So we're catching up. We'll be reviewing each issue. So you'll have a bunch to look at if you go check it out now. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Check our channel, leave comments. We're on Twitter at combo_convo. Definitely hit us up there. Let us know what you would like us to review, any comments, suggestions. And as always, as I always say, we'll see you later.